I am very sure you must be so perplexed with the images you're watching right now because you really don't understand what is going on, yeah? Well, that's why I want to do a little bit of explaining. So, what you're seeing at the background or what you're seeing that is playing on your screen right now are bits and pieces of drama that is being acted by Artwel. You know, Artwel is a drama group that is located in Mukono, and they do amazing work. And today, what they have put together on stage is pieces, or actually, the entire script of the play that we call Hatsudas. And for some of you, that is the high schoolers, most especially O level, you must be closely relating to this play that I am talking about. It is called Hatsudas, the Hatsudas by Sylvester Onzivois. That name sounds familiar. It sounds like a name from my area called Arua, yo. Whatsoever the case is, we're looking at the content here. So today, I've decided to embed some literature in the glory of love. So we shall be talking to almost all the high school students and also lovers out there at the same time. So Hatsudas is a play that depicts the aspects that we talk about in life as, let's say, someone being a playboy or a sugar boy or being a side chick. You know, we've talked about this before on several occasions, and it is at this particular moment that I want to give an explanation to what exactly you are watching, and maybe a profile and a brief background of the book, or actually the text. That is the play Hatsudas. Now, Hatsudas is a simple but very educative and highly informative play that highlights the crisis of the institution of marriage in contemporary African setting. You know, at some point my heart aches for the young generation as the playwright wittingly describes what happens to a young graduate, now an executive company director, called Jimmy. So he is cohabiting with another young graduate, that is Minnie, in total disregard of African tradition and culture. And in many cases, we find ourselves in different situations where we actually cohabit with these little girls that we fall for, and we say we love them. We say we love them, and we want to stick together with them, and so it provokes us to actually start living together, which we call cohabiting. But this, in most cases, ends up giving birth to several other vices that are actually, if I should say, serial activities that do not allow the thriving of a relationship. So in the Hatsudas, we see a lot of tension, and this grows to build, tension begins to build when unfaithfulness creeps into the relationship. Jimmy is engulfed in a reckless living, then epitomized by alcoholism, deception, arrogance, pride, and unfaithfulness to Minnie by lodging away with Jizz. So while Minnie takes to revenging and nursing her frustration by lodging with Jogo, the tension escalates when Patrick and Florence, acquaintances of Jimmy and Minnie, respectively, begin to ill-advise them. Now, we have a category of so many characters, and here we are going to actually look at like three aspects of literature. And now, we are going to look at, first of all, character, and we try to see the characterization according to Sylvester, and we see how whether we have, actually not whether, but we have such people in our societies, and they are, some of them are close friends that ill advise us, some of them pretend to be those that actually wish well for us in our relationships. Now, there are so many lessons that we also have to learn there at the same time. So we're going to look at characterization, and then some themes or some lessons that we can learn from this play in specific. So you got to stick right there, because I'm going to have each of these role players or these characters come through explain more about the roles they play in this show. I mean, actually, on this play, in this play, and then their characterization, plus also the lessons that we should learn from their characters as well, because we have all these categories of people in the contemporary society. And for you as a student who is offering literature at all level right now, this is the best moment for you to simply sit back and relax, because we are breaking down one of your set books, which actually is another way of teaching you. So we're just extending your classroom lesson to a TV lesson right now, and I don't think if you need to really miss on this. So stick right there as I bring you the different characters from the different segments of the play, so that you can see the roles they played and what lessons you can learn from them, and also take some moral lessons as you lovers to know what it takes actually for you to be in position to be successful in your relationship. Circumstances, all other factors and other circumstances kept constant. It is the glory of love. We're just getting started.
Hello, my name is Daphne Oitamong, and I'm a teacher by profession. I play the role of Minnie in the book Hatsudas by Sylvester. I'm playing as the housewife, and not legally married to Jimmy, but we are staying together like most of the families that we have, not with a ring, but we stay together, and people call us husband and wife. In the play Hatsudas, I go out of my marriage and then get somebody else. Because my husband no longer cares about me, he's found a side chick. So I also decided to find a side dude. By the names of Jogo, and together we start, we have a relationship. I actually become pregnant with Jogo's child. And unfortunately one day, Jimmy comes back, finds us, and he chases me away. Going to his side chick, bringing her back home. We learn from this story. We'll go mainly to the, since I'm playing the role of wife first, I'll say that there's some things that push husbands away from their wives. For example, being so nosy. Minnie was so nosy. She kept on asking, where are you, what, and that. So this guy doesn't want to feel like, you know, he's answerable all the time. You're nagging. Men don't want to be nagged around. And so because Minnie kept on nagging Jimmy decides to go out.
Hello, beautiful and amazing people, Magic One. My name is Caroline Bridget Nakanyike. I'm so happy to be here. So in the play Hatsudas, I act as Iya, a mother to Jimmy. I'm a traditional woman, and you've always heard about this thing of mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. So my son brings me a daughter-in-law, and I really don't want the girl. So I stick to my traditions. I stick to whatever I want, and I keep on convincing my son to take on a traditional girl, to take on a village girl, which he is really not interested in. You know, these days people follow their hearts, so my son chooses to follow his heart, and unfortunately I make a comment that ends up as a curse to him. When you look at the plot and the storyline of this novel, you realize that my son ends up in a though he really has money, he ends up in a way that he doesn't have a child. He's all frustrated, and that's why he ends up going out for the so-called Hatsudas. So the Hatsuda I have in this play is my pot. This traditional pot is a pot that I inherited from my mother, who also got it from her mother, who had also got it from her grandmother. So it really means a lot to me. See what happens when I don't like this so-called modern girl that my son brings to me as a daughter-in-law. She breaks my heart, Suda, and that breaks my heart. It makes me cry, and I end up saying words that end up as a curse to my son.
I am Promise Elizabeth Musavi, and in the book Hatsudas, I act as Florence. Florence, the friend to all. Yeah, Florence. The book starts as Florence, as Minnie's friend, who Minnie tells whatever is happening about her marriage, and the friend gives her advice of choosing either a native doctor or getting a heart soother. She gives her advice on what she should do about her marriage, and the best option is either going to a native doctor or having a side dude. Side dude. So when Minnie refuses the advice, Florence goes ahead and gets Jimmy and connects Jimmy and Jez, who Jez happens to be Jimmy's heart soother. So forgetting that Jez was also a lover to her brother Jogo. So in this process, Florence gets into a dilemma of choosing between her friend and her brother, and at the end of it all, she loses her brother. The moral lesson I learned from this book is marriage involves two people. It's always best not to include a third party because their advice might not suit your marriage. It might end up destroying your marriage. So it's better to sit down with your husband and discuss and calm down and discuss everything before including a third party, because sometimes the advice they give does not favor your marriage.
In this book, The Hatsudas, I play as Jimmy's side chick, commonly known. Like others call it a panadol. Mention them. But in the book, it's the Hatsuda. I am the Hatsuda, the side chick to Jimmy. Yeah, in the book, as you can see. So, side chick. Okay. Before that, Hatsuda, I would love to define. Okay, the way the book defined it, something that calms you down, cools you down, or makes your heart beat, or something that gives you peace. So I was the one giving peace to Jimmy, a married man, and I was a student, but of course, giving that happiness to a married man. So in the book, I am convinced, like, by Jimmy not to take any contraceptives, and at the end of the day I get pregnant, start to complain. I am still doing my course, and then he convinces me that no, that isn't an issue. He was actually ready for a kid. So at the end of the day, as a big man, of course, he knows how to handle. He calms me down. I accept to give a child, but when I'm not actually married, when I'm just a side chick. But at the end of it all, doesn't turn out well. Everything is in a mess. I mess up because as a heart soother, I wasn't satisfied. This man was a married man, and I think I felt like I wasn't safe, so I had to get another man of my type who is not married. And after that, we mess up. At the end of the day, the pregnancy wasn't for Jimmy, it was for someone else. So to the men, it is also fine to get a heart soother, I guess, but still it doesn't end well. All in all, you have to respect your women. If you have your heart soother outside there, please respect your woman, don't show. And if it is possible, you can even tell your heart keeps respected, and it's kept out of all the mess that might come after the relationship. Then to the ladies, I am a lady. I can feel hurt if I realize that my man has actually someone elsewhere. I feel like maybe he's not content with me, or I don't do really enough. It hurts me. But as a lady, I feel like, ladies, if you find out that your man has a side chick, you can feel hurt to do all that, the mess, but stay in your homes. Because however much you run, you will never, you might never find someone so comfortable, someone perfect. So what you do, just cool down. Yeah, and do the needful. Look after the kids. Look after your husband. After all, he comes back at the end of the day.
All right, it is at this particular moment of the show that I actually want to pose a question to those that are at home, that is the students. I want to give you some holiday package straight up, yo. Just imagine if your class of literature was asked to, okay, you actually decided, or you were asked to play a role in this play. What role would you play and why? And at this particular moment, I also want to take advantage of giving you a simple explanation of what Hatsudas actually means. Though some of the characters have already given you a glimpse of that. You know, I've told you that the word Hatsudas is, and if I should say, we use some arts that we call euphemism. Euphemism is like making something that is supposed to be bad to look a little bit good, spicing it up a little bit. So Hatsudas is a sweeter name for the side chicks, or actually side dudes, what we call the sugar babies sometimes. So at this particular moment, I want you to know that when the point where a lover chooses to call their side chick a Hatsuda, it means they are trying to find relief from these kind of people. And this happens so frequently. Most times people actually are in relationships and things are not moving the right direction, and the problems are originating from you, the couple that are in this relationship, to the sense that maybe the lady is not giving your man comfort enough, so she is finding or seeking for this relief, this tranquility from elsewhere, from somebody they are calling their Hatsuda. And in the play itself, the Hatsudas, there are a couple of Hatsudas all over. So we can see that actually Jimmy finds relief in G's. Mimi is finding relief in someone else. Then we are seeing the mother to Jimmy also finding relief in her legendary pot that was given to her by her great-grandparents that has been actually successfully carried from one generation to another, and when it gets broken, she feels it's the end of her life. And so many people, or so many of us in life, have such things that we prioritize and think they soothe our lives. Now, there are lessons that we have to learn, and at this particular moment we are going to look into that segment of what lessons we learn from the portrayal of every character, and then we bring it back to ourselves in the contemporary relationships that we are doing or in right now, so that we can pick up a lesson or two and learn what we are supposed to do when such circumstances come to existence. Now, Hatsudas are everywhere. You could be a Hatsuda yourself. And so the big question is, are you proud to be a Hatsuda? And have you learned your lesson? If not yet, let's check out the last segment of the show so we can pick up these themes, some of these lessons, and then we shall be in position to wrap up the show in the interest of time. Otherwise, it is still the goal.
Hello Magic1 viewers, my name is Wider Ismail, and right here in the Hatsudas, we're trying to relate the play The Hatsudas probably to what happens out there, in case we're trying to reveal what Surely the Glory of Love is all about. Once again, my name is Wider Ismail, and I act as Jimmy in the play The Hatsudas. Jimmy is a very controversial character, despite the fact that he happens to be one of the main characters, and he tries to depict that kind of gentleman who is let's say disillusioned a little bit, because at first he's so defensive when it comes to words that are against his so-called wife-to-be, Minnie. But in the long run, the so-called wife-to-be in the name of Minnie probably could not give Jimmy what Jimmy would expect, and that was a child. Because in the African tradition, a man is viewed as that kind of gigantic character in the home, who is supposed to keep the legacy of the lineage by coming up with offspring that are going to live and pass that time where they'll be able to again give birth to more children. But in this case, Minnie is not giving birth, and Minnie herself admits that Jimmy performs very well as a man, despite the fact that sometimes she has become too barren, just like a brick. So Jimmy opts for that heart soother, that painkiller, that reliever who will take away the stress. So he goes for Jay's, who happens to be the heart soother. Unfortunately, things do not turn up well for Jimmy, because at the end of it all, he has to commit an ordeal that he's going to live to remember all his years on earth. He goes ahead and killed someone who purportedly was in love with his former wife, that is Minnie. So viewers of Magic 1, the play The Hatsudas is trying to paint that greater picture of this side chick in society, the perception of a side chick, and in the play we are bringing her out as the heart soother. Many of you call them side dishes, but this time she has come to offer a solution to what has failed to happen in the family. So the moral lesson out of it there is that yes, sometimes we go through a lot in our families, but we need to give it time. We need to have that hope that probably even that wife that could be barren, if you're scientifically proven in a medical hospital that surely your wife could give birth, give it time. You never know, things will turn out well, and we have seen people give birth at even an age where they would call it a menopause. So the Hatsudas, despite the fact that it is painting the picture of side dishes being useful, to some extent they could be disastrous in the long run. I still remain Wider Ismail, acting as Jimmy in the Hatsudas. Thank you for watching.
Regards to all the viewers of Magic 1, my name is Onesimus Vidiabaho, and in this play, The Hatsudas, I act as Jogo. And Jogo is mainly, could we say, the male side chick, and then they can say side dude, and then sugar baby. Yeah, sugar baby is something like that. So precisely, it only comes in when Jimmy has been cheating, and then Minnie, the wife at home, has been given advice, just like ladies always advise for ladies, and then she was given an advice of a piece of advice. One, maybe go and try witchcraft so that she could tie her husband at home, or maybe find what they so call a Panadol, or an alternative, a man that will soothe her heart.
All right, Hatsudas. Anyway, at this particular moment, as we wind down on the show, I want to send a special shout out. Actually, I want to give a big thanks to the author of the book, that is The Hatsudas, Sylvester Onzivois. Not forgetting MK Publishers, those that actually publish this book. If you are a parent and your child maybe is doing literature, you need to get them a copy of this book, or else you as a parent yourself, you need to read this book, because there are a lot of lessons that you're going to need to learn from this particular text itself. And at this particular moment, I also want to send some special shout outs to Artwel Drama Group. These are the guys behind the drama that I was just showing clips of at the beginning of the show, and of course you've seen a couple of them telling you the roles they have played and the lessons that you can learn. Not forgetting Promise, Wider Ismail, Sheila, Daphne, Carol, as well as Onesimus. Yes, these guys, you guys have done well, and these guys are actually located in Mukono, and I want to send special shout outs to also their director, that is none other than Kasada Daniel. Yes, and then Wider Ismail, who happens to be the human resource. And if you are someone who is talented in acting and you maybe want to join them, you can look for Wider Ismail on the number 077-3179-155. Or else you can also find the director himself, that is Kasada Daniel, on 0787-302-772. And I want to send a special shout out as well as I wind down on the show to Walker the Barber, the man behind my hair, my beard, and my everything, you know, concerning hairstyling, and also manicure, pedicure. You can go check him out on that is Arua Park Plaza, level 2, room 644. And then I won't forget to send shout outs to Danny and Novida, the guys behind what we call that is Hiveware and Hive Records, though they're not the ones behind my styling today. Yeah, but they are a part of the show all the time. Platinum Wellness Spa found in Buziga. You can also go check them out for any massage, sauna, and things of that kind. Go check out Platinum Wellness Spa Upper Buziga. As you're heading to, it is actually Lukuli Road. You can always go there, get yourself something good, and get treated your body for fitness and all that. Not forgetting sending special shout outs to you, Mr. Oboy Dennis. Yes, that is courtesy of, we call it OJ's Motel found in Bunga. Yes. Now, as I wind down on the show, in one way or the other, you're going to realize that you are actually either a Hatsuda or you are holding a Hatsuda somewhere or somehow. There is something or somebody that you confide in for your relief, for your tranquility, for your safety, for your peace of mind. And that is where I want to ask you to learn specific lessons. Apart from the lessons that our characters have mentioned, you need to really be careful, because what you're calling a Hatsuda is actually a heartbreaker to some other person that you really care so much about. Some of these are things that matter so much to our parents, and then you, the children, actually, when you break them or you do something wrong to them, you are breaking their heart at the same time. But converting it to love itself, you need to be very careful. Though today we have Sweet Lemon, you as a Hatsuda, calling you a Hatsuda, but it doesn't stop the fact that you are actually encroaching on a relationship that is supposed to be very successful, but because of you, things are not moving in the right direction. So as Hatsudas, we know you have a say. You could have your reasons, or you who is getting a Hatsuda, you have your reasons as to why you're confiding in these Hatsudas. But trust me, regardless, there is a solution. You can actually sort your differences with this person that you vowed to love for the rest of your life, so that you forget about the Hatsudas and you have something that is nice and good for the two of you, because the relationship is only good for the two. It is two to tango. When three come in, it doesn't work out. That's why abaganda bagamba nti abasatu basatulula. So don't get yourself in such a situation. As for you, the Hatsudas, mind your position and stop encroaching into people's relationship, because what you're doing to somebody is something you don't want to be done to you. And of course, I don't want to also forget to send some shout outs as we close up to Kayongo in the studio, not forgetting Max on the microphone, not on the microphone, but on the camera right there, and also Solomon, Gideon, the entire team behind the Glory of Love. A big up on yourself, thank you so much. And then the lovers of love, thank you so much for always getting locked on the show. You know that I do this for you, and I'm always here to give you the best of the best. Otherwise, love you so much, and I'm out of here. It has been the Glory of Love, MC Shugga, Magic1tv. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials, and also follow the Glory of Love on YouTube. Go check out the Glory of Love UG. That's where we are. Subscribe and then hit that bell so that you can get a notification every time we upload a new episode. Otherwise, up next on Magic1tv is of course 100% UG. You don't want to miss on this. A couple of songs coming up for you. So don't forget, I dedicate to you. What song should I dedicate for you this time around? Okay, any song from Palazzo. And actually, let me dedicate for you a song from Palazzo and Vian Music. Yes, big up on yourself. Lots of love.
Tequila, vanilla.
Yeah.
Baby, let's go for dinner. Palazzo, vanilla. Music. Baby, let's go for dinner. Jagala budena wanjagala. Obera wa mukwano ngufuna. Oli dagala liwonya binuma.